Hi everybody, so today I just wanted to make a simple keyring, but I think we've all learned that even the simplest things take a little bit of knowledge, skill, energy to master. So I'm hoping that what I show you today will help you to master it a bit better. So I'm going to go through the little design process that I do for each of my keyrings, and this obviously helps me to see that everything's going to fit. And then I will make it and we will seal it with the resin. So I think that's probably the part of the video that everybody wants to see, is how I do the resin. So stick around and I will show you. Sorry, I'm drinking some juice while I do this. So the first thing that I do for every keyring is I insert my circle and I change the size to 5 centimeters because that's the general size of acrylic discs. You can obviously get different sizes, so if yours is a different size, change it to the size that you want. So I duplicate it for one reason, and that is once I've inserted my images into it, I will then use one of them to slice it to the size that I want, and the other one will stay my guide. So the great thing about these guides is that when you go to cut, they won't cut. So you can keep them on your screen and you're not accidentally going to cut out a huge white circle. So I want to use this amazing vinyl that I've had forever and a day. So I'm just going to jump to another video where I'm going to show you the vinyl and the amazing vinyl roll holder that I got. So the basic backstory is that this vinyl was in a box for a very long time, and I think things are kind of just out of sight, out of mind. So I've had the vinyl, but I've never used it, and now today I want to use it. So I wanted to show you this amazing vinyl roll holder that I got. So this is the vinyl that we're going to be using today. I have had this forever and a day. Oh, look at that. And it's just been hidden away in boxes, but look at this. This is amazing. So it holds 48 rolls, okay, and obviously it is double-sided. So I have, see, that's heavy. So I have my HTV on one side. So I have my HTV on one side. And boom, that's all HTV, and then I have my sticker vinyl on the other side. So obviously I've still got some stuff in boxes, but this is a lot easier for me to see stuff. So obviously jeez, it is quite heavy. So obviously, because all of this was packed away in boxes, I haven't had a chance to use some of the stuff that I've had for months, especially this one. And I think this is going to look amazing on a black disc. So that's what we will be doing. Okay, so you've seen the vinyl. And the reason I want to use this vinyl specifically is that I had a horrible experience with a shimmer vinyl. It was a pink one. Well, it was more of a glitter vinyl than a shimmer vinyl. And the minute I put resin over it, it just leaked pink everywhere. So I actually had to throw what I was making away because it was such a big mess. So I have also been a bit hesitant of shimmer vinyls, but this is a smooth shimmer vinyl, so that's the part that excites me. I don't think that it's possible that it's going to leak because the shimmer and the color is actually sort of inside of it, if that makes sense. So I'm very excited to try this one. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you in the video. Obviously once I've got the camera set up, I'll show you the discs, but I've got these gorgeous black discs from Craft Buddies. It's one of the new items that they've brought in, so I think this green is really going to pop against the black. So I want to do something with obviously green, but I was thinking maybe some leaves or a plant, something to brighten it up a bit. I'm not sure if I'm going to have wording on it yet, so let's just have a look and see what we can find. So that is our plants. uh, so I'm thinking maybe we'll have the phrase keep growing or something to that effect. But I think first I've got to find exactly what I'm looking for. I like that. I really like these. That's cute. Oh, I really like that. So I always do this. I scroll through everything. I like everything, and then I find one that sort of just is perfect. So remember, we're not looking for something round because we will slice it. So what I do is when I'm looking, I also just look at the shape of it and I try to imagine where I'm going to have to slice it. So for instance, with this being so long, I could either make it really small or I could slice the bottom, and then it kind of wouldn't be the picture that it is at the moment. So I must admit, I've got a really big thing for these Monstera plants. That's probably not how you pronounce them. Someone's going to come at me about that, but it's fine. I'm calling it that. Um, and I just think they look very elegant. Ooh, what if we do the succulent with not today, sucker? I like that. Oh, these are cute. So I've used that one before, and I really liked the way it turned out. But I want something plain and simple. I don't want to use a lot of colors in this. That's pretty. Let's look for a succulent. All the way to the top. I really like that. That's pretty. So I think that could be something fun to do in the future if you're interested. A 3D succulent. I've actually got some empty pot plants, and maybe we can try and do that. Sorry, I'm taking you on my long journey of searching for the perfect one, and I'm just not finding it right now. Nothing's popping at me. I like that. Suck it. That's also nice, but I feel like it loses a bit of itself with the line through it. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Let me actually save that for later. I think we're at the end. Okay, so we didn't find anything there, so I think I'm just going to go back to my original idea of the Monstera leaves, which I really love. Sorry, my internet is also a bit slow today. So let's select that one. What else? Come on, there's got to be something else that I want. And we're gonna look one more time because I'm sure there's got to be something here. Because I'm just, I don't know, nothing's grabbing me entirely. So let's grab that one and let's grab that one. Let's add them to the canvas. I mean, we could even do something fun like an alien, but I don't know, the plants were the first idea, so I kind of feel like I have to go with them. So this would give you an idea if you slice it. When it does it. There we are. So that's basically what our keyring would look like. So I'm going to duplicate that again because I'm obviously going to need one for everything that I try. I don't know, and I'm not entirely feeling that. So let's try something else. So obviously when we're slicing it, we don't want it to entirely lose all of its, no, I'm not feeling these. Okay. Wait, let's leave that one because I do kind of like it. It's just not entirely what I was looking for. So maybe let's make that a bit bigger. And let's duplicate the circle. And let's slice that again. See if maybe that gives us something better. That is actually a lot better. Still not what I was looking for, but a lot better. Delete that, duplicate that. Let's look for something else. It's got to be something green because I'm determined to use this green on the black disc. I just think it's going to look amazing, so I really think I've got to go with that. I like that a lot, like a lot. Whether it's going to look good in green or not, I'm not sure, but we're going to try. Okay, so I like that. And I like that. Okay, so let's add those. And let's see if any of it is going to work for what I'm trying to achieve. I actually really like this, but remembering this is going to be pretty tiny, but I really like that. So let's slice that. Oopsie. So we don't want these. We don't want that, obviously. I really like that a lot. Like, I love that. So I think that's going to be it. Let's change it to a light green. Let's put another shape in. Make it 5. Change it to black. Send it to back. Oh, I love that. I think that's what we're doing. Okay, so I don't have words for this as yet. I'm sure something will come to me. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to show you a little trick. What I do is I add an offset of between 0.015 and 0.018, depending on, so let's apply that, and then I will remove that. I'm going to add one more offset. This time I'm going to do 0.015. This is obviously going to make it a little bit bigger than what we originally wanted. So if you have a look at these two, let me change it to black so you can also see. This one has lost a lot of its definition. This one still has definition. So I'm actually going to delete that and use the original one. So I'm going to save this. Reason being, at a later stage, I'm probably going to want to come back and add words into this keyring. So what's great about the resin is that even once you've sealed it, you can add vinyl on top of that. So what I do even with my see-through acrylic discs, instead of doing them double-sided and risking getting bubbles that show through, I do everything on one side and I seal it with resin in between, so that you obviously don't get your vinyl folding over each other and giving you those little fold lines. So that's one great thing. So we are going to make this now, and then we're going to apply it, and then we're going to seal our keyring. So I'm doing this on my Joy today. I'm doing it on a long mat because that's the one I have with me. And we're going to need a piece of vinyl 5 by 5 centimeters, nice and small. And let's continue, and then I'm going to set up my camera so that you can actually see me cutting it and weeding it, and we're gonna see how that goes. Now, remembering I have not used this vinyl before, so I don't know what cut setting to use it on, so I'm going to try it on the holographic vinyl setting on more pressure because it feels like quite a thick vinyl. Okay, set up with the camera. So I've got this gorgeous little container. How cool is this? This I actually got from Craft Buddies. They weren't sure if they wanted to stock it, if it was worth anything. It reminds me of a little ice bucket, to be honest, but my freezer's not big enough, so blanks. So I use it for my blanks. I need to doll up the outside though. So how gorgeous are these black acrylic glitter discs from Craft Buddies? These are stunning. So I'm going to be using that today. They also have plain black, so let me get rid of that. And this is the vinyl that I'm going to be using with that, lime green with black, and look how nice and shiny that is. It's going to be like shine on shine. At this point, I don't know, it may be too much, but I am just going to go with it. So we only need a 5 centimeter piece of this. So obviously from storing it in boxes, I may have damaged it, which sucks, but yeah, it is what it is. So I cut a 5 centimeter piece. I'm going to then go and store my roll again. And I'm then going to, oh, are we going skew? No, we're not. It's my actual cut of that skew. So I cut this is actually called gold green, and it's a stardust vinyl. I don't know why I cut off the end, because that tells you what it is. So I always cut it a little bit bigger just in case, because there's nothing worse than cutting. So that's actually 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters. Then this I will keep. I've got like a little flip file thing that I keep all of my offcuts in. So one thing about the Joy that I've learned is that when you place your vinyl, it has to be right on the corner. So this vinyl actually has a plastic covering, but this is still smooth underneath. That is like completely smooth, and look at that shine. So with the Joy, you've got to actually place your vinyl corner to corner. With the Explore and the Maker, there's actually a little line on your mat that shows you, yeah, so this line you see on the Explore and the Maker, this tiny line, you place your vinyl inside of that line. On the Joy, it's from corner to corner. So I'm going to put this into my joy, as you can hear. And we're going to cut it. Okay, so as you can see, that didn't give me the result that I want, but I think that I might be, there, now you can see, I think I might be able to save this, because it looks like everything that it's pulled up is pieces I'm going to weed away anyway. So let's just see if we can save that. It made the weeding process super easy though, because everything is basically just coming off, which is great. I can't at this point actually even see. If you want to test your eyesight, become a crafter, because I thought I had perfect eyesight, but lately I just feel blind as a bat. You can't even see. Yeah, I really like this though. This is cute. And you can see, even though it ripped up the vinyl, it's actually just ripped it up where I'm going to weed it anyway. So my actual design is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Oh, we lost a piece. I don't know where that flew to. Oopsie. I wish I could see better though. That's my only problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to weed the outside. I don't know why, but I feel like that's going to help me see a bit better. Whether it will or won't, I actually don't know. Wow. So this was holographic setting, and I ran it twice. It was holographic, more pressure, I ran it twice, and yeah, so as you can see, it has lifted, but like I said, it's where I want to weed anyway, so that's great. That is great. I just can't see, and that's my biggest problem right now. There we are. And as you can see, I absolutely love my tweezers for weeding. Love it. I just find it so much easier. I love that. That's actually super, super cute. We do have another piece here to weed. And yes, this is my normal weeding process where I stick it on my thumb because I just find it much easier. There we are. Look at that. I love that. I love it. Okay, then we remove that from my thumb. Okay, let's get ourselves some transfer tape. So obviously the transfer tape, you've got to make sure it is the right size for what you need. Oopsie, hip skew. Okay, that's a bit big, but that will be fine. Okay, so I'm actually going to remove this from my mat now. So I don't know if you saw that when I remove it from my mat, so I'm going to just show you. I don't pull it so that this curls, because then you're obviously going to ruin that. So when I pull it, you can see I sort of pull it at an angle. And I do that for everything, obviously just to protect whatever's on the mat. So then we are going to transfer this beauty. I love that. I think that came out so cute, I've got to admit. And I think I actually like it at that angle as well, compared to the angle we had it at. No, I like that. I don't know. I like them all. I think it looks amazing. I just really hope it goes with glitter disc. I can't get my transfer tape off.
It's frustrating.
Okay, another thing I've noticed, if there is a bubble in your transfer tape, there is going to be a bubble in your decal once you transfer it. So that is why once your transfer tape starts to crinkle, and rather get a new piece. Okay, so on every acrylic blank there is a protective covering. You need to remove this protective covering first, like so, before you apply your decal and your resin. That is cute. And this is completely smooth, completely smooth, so you don't have to worry about things. Okay, so let's apply this. So when we transfer, we do the rolling method, which is to pull it back on itself like that, and you roll it back. And we're just going to place this. Do I want it that way? Or do I want it that way? I quite like that, actually. I do quite like that. Nope. Nope. Let's go with our original way. Okay, so me and my bad eyesight, we need to line it up on the round side first, because you don't want your round side creeping in on your disc. Okay, so that's creeping in a bit. There we are. Oopsie, I moved. So you can see I'm just putting down the edge first, like that. And then I just push along. Okay. So once that's on, and I think it looks super nice. Oopsie. Okay, so as you can see, there is a piece that's sticking over the edge there, which is completely fine. I like that a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my craft knife, and I'm actually going to just slice that away by going in a downwards direction, like so. So I just put it against the side and I slide down, because that's what I don't want. I don't want it to rip like that. Slide down. There we are. Now I've got a clean cut. So there is my super cute little flower disc, and it is so glittery. So now I'm going to show you how I seal this. So even if I want to put words on it, I'm going to seal it first, then I'm going to put my words on afterwards. So this at least gives me a little bit of leeway with what I want to do, so I don't need to leave it open to get scratched and dirty and whatever else. So I use one of these nifty little egg holders from the fridge. It's an extra one that we have. The reason I like this is that if you pick the disc up like that, once it's got resin on it, your fingertips actually touch onto the resin. So what if I do need to pick it up, I can flip it at the bottom like that, see, and then I can pull it onto my fingers like that. That's if I do need to pick it up for whatever reason, and then obviously you can just slide it back. I also find it easier to work slightly elevated, so you can see the egg holder's got slight elevation to it. That way I can see the edges, because what you see on your keyring before it's sealed is what will be there once it's sealed, if that makes sense. So if I can see that there's spots on the side, you're going to see it once it's sealed. So let me just grab, so what do I use to apply my UV resin? I use a toothpick. Simple. That's what I use a toothpick. So I've got my Craft Buddies UV resin. Why do I have it still in the packaging like this? I don't know. I just do, but that's my Craft Buddies UV resin. Oopsie. And then the last thing we're going to need, which I can't seem to find, is my lighter. So this is the lamp that I'm using. It's very dirty, please excuse, because it goes all over the countryside with me. And this one, I think it's actually losing power. It's a UV nail lamp. It's not a very expensive one. It was a little cheapy, but it does take forever for things to dry down, especially now with the cold weather. So I've got a long stem lighter because I actually burn the resin before I put it under the lamp to get rid of some bubbles, and this obviously won't burn me in return. So I'm going to adjust this as I go so that you can try and see what I'm saying. But basically what I do is I apply a drop in the middle. Okay, can you see that? Let's see. Yeah, so if you can see that, there's my bit in the middle. It's not too much, because while resin clings, if you do put too much, it is going to leak over the edges. So that's the only time I've had the issue where it leaks. Okay, then I do a quick spread around of the resin just to get it towards the edges. But as you can see, or if you can, I'm not sure if you can, let's see if I can bring it closer. So when I'm working with it, I'm not pushing against the disc, I'm pushing against the top of the resin. So this is actually sort of hovering on the resin. So what I do is I get it to the edges, and again, I'm not pushing down on my disc, I'm hovering above my resin. And let's see if I can show you this. I don't know if you can see it, but basically look at how the resin sort of clings onto that. So what you want to do is when you bring it to the edges, with your resin clinging to it, you lift it up and out over the edges like that. So what that's going to do is that's going to give you that clean look around the edges of your, you see that? So I'm going over the edges, like completely over the edges. And then you can also work inwards like that, so you run around the, this is gorgeous, it's so shiny, so much shine. And I've seen a lot of people are scared of UV resin. No reason to be scared of it, honestly. The worst thing you're going to do is make a big mess, which I know we all hate, but you're going to learn, and your keyring is just going to be so much better after that. So I go around my entire keyring doing this, dragging it to the edges. And when I say dragging, it's on the top. Because if you do push your toothpick down into the resin, you are going to have the issue where you've got sort of like lumps not lumps, it's like bumpy. And then we do the top. So if you look at the resin from an angle, which I can't show you on the camera, but I've actually got my head at an angle so that I'm looking at it sideways, you can see the light reflecting off of the resin, and you can see where it is on your keyring. You see there I went too deep. So now this is my second bottle of UV resin. This is not like I've been doing this for years and years. It's only my second bottle ever. I do much prefer this brand to the last brand that I was using. The last brand was a lot thicker, and that obviously made it a lot harder to work with, because it's a lot harder then to get a smooth result. Oopsie. We just drag it where we want it. So right now I'm not even touching the disc. I'm hovering above it, and the resin is clinging to my toothpick. And I'm still looking at an angle just so that I can see where it still needs to go. And you'll actually be able to see where the resin's thicker, so where you can pull from. I think that's the best way to describe it, where you can pull from to bring it to where you need it to be, because you're not actually dragging it, you're pulling it. You're letting it attach to your toothpick and getting it to where you need it to be. So this is the only part where I really poke at it, and then sometimes on the edges. So then what I like to do is I like to actually hold it up. I don't know if you can see. So I will hold it at my eye level, and I will turn it around to see if there's any pieces on the edge where I can see it hasn't touched, because that is the most important thing to give you that clean sealed look. Otherwise you're gonna see where it hasn't touched on the edges. Okay, then next important part, your lighter. So if you don't do this, what's going to happen when you put it under your lamp is you're actually going to get all these little bubbles that pop under the lamp, and you're going to get all these little potholes in your finished product. So again, if I hold it up, I can see that all of the edges have been touched. All of the edges have resin on them. It looks nice and clean and smooth. I'm just going to let that sit for a couple minutes. Why am I doing that? Because resin is not water. So if a bubble pops in water, the water that was there will close up around it immediately. Resin is thicker. Doesn't matter which brand you use. Obviously, the thicker it is, the longer it's going to take to come back together. This one luckily isn't too thick. So, I mean, I leave it for about a minute, and then I put it under my lamp, and usually where the bubbles have popped, it's come back together already. If it doesn't come back together, again, you're going to get little potholes. What I like about this as well is that if you have cats who are dusty, like me, you can't really see it because it's a black glittery disc and there's already so much in here. Because that's one problem I have with my clear discs, is that my cats will be around and then suddenly I've got a cat hair or something in my freaking disc, and then I can't get it out. So, okay, I think that is pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to plug my lamp in. What I do then is I take it exactly like this, and I'm going to stick it under my lamp. Okay, now that's going under my lamp. So I will do that, like I said, my lamp is giving up. I will do that probably like 5 times. So I've got a double power option. I'll do that about 5 times, 90 seconds a time. So it's quite a long time. And I know it's my lamp, and I know it's not the resin, because obviously as time has gone by, I've had to do it for longer and longer and longer. Then what I do on my last one is I actually take the disc and I go and I run it under some water. And the reason I do that is that it will actually help it cure perfectly. So you won't have that tackiness. So I do it say 4 times, and then I take the disc and I go and run it under water and I put it again under it 1 or 2 times. It comes out absolutely perfectly, no tackiness, nothing. So let's let that dry. I'll be back in 5 to show you the results. And we are done, people. I can see we're going out of focus here. Can we focus? And let's show you this gorgeous keyring. Look at that. Nice and smooth. 1 coat of resin. So you saw how much I used. It was literally a little drop. And that is nice and smooth. Look at the light reflecting off of it. No bubbles, nothing. So I was thinking about it. I'm maybe going to add in some words like keep growing, let it flow, something to that effect. Obviously thinking about hard times, letting them just flow. But I will work on that at a later stage. And as I said, you can put the vinyl right on top of the resin, and then you can seal it again, and it works perfectly. But I'm super happy with those results. I love this vinyl. You can see it stayed shimmery. Let's get it to focus again. Look at that. That is gorgeous. So now you know how to properly seal a keyring. Well, design one, seal it, do all of those things, and I hope that making keyrings will be a lot easier for you going forward. Thanks so much for joining me.